Yo, EROM Sports in the building. I'm back. It's been a minute. NFL time, fantasy football drafts. I'll be giving you my college football preview in a couple of days. Take you through the maze, what a ill blaze. Have you seen the full moon? Looking like it was the month of June. The moon was so bright, thought the sun was out at night. Lyrically, I'm here for a rhyme fight. E-complete, you could call me E-compleasy. E-rhyme sports, fantasy football easy. Yo, strategy, I break it down, give you some rankings because you know I'm the best around. So listen, it's simple. What you need to do for your fantasy football drafts, they're coming up this weekend. I had one, my father, son, and mom draft this weekend. It was a lot of fun. But when it comes down to, when it comes to the rankings and what needs to be done, you know what I'm saying? You really need details. So I think the key for most people is your first 8 picks should be 3 running backs, 3 quarterbacks. 3 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a tight end, and a quarterback. Quarterback, I would tend to say you can get anywhere from round 6 to 10, depending on if you want, Rodgers, Brady, whatever. Yesterday, I waited, I think, to the 10th round. I wound up with 2 pretty good quarterbacks, Matt Ryan and Jimmy G from the 49ers. So I'm pleased with that. When it comes to the rankings, though, I think it's real basic. This year, when you start to look at who's out there ranking wise and the positions, to me, I think the QBs are self-explanatory. I mean, you're gonna say for fantasy with receiving yards and this and that, it's gonna be about Rodgers. You want guys that can run. Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, Carson Wentz, if healthy, is going to be great. Deshaun Watson, Brady, different guys. I think you don't really want to, I don't know if you can trust Andrew Luck. That's why I have him down a little low. Normally he's easily a top 5-6. Alex Smith, Kirk Cousins. Vikings have a tough schedule, that first place schedule. Don't sleep. You got to look at the bye weeks. You got to look at the schedule, stuff like that. Okay? But I'll tell you this. My strategy, PPR, 17 teams, 17 positions. I normally like 2 quarterbacks, 2 defenses. Yesterday, I just went with the Vikings because Martavis Bryant was there late, so I had to take him as a wide receiver. You see the rest of the rankings. When you get to the running backs, look, anybody can do, my league, it was David Johnson going first. To me, it's Lev Bell all day, every day. He's got to come into camp, though. It's almost the start of the season, Le'Veon. But, Le'Veon, Gurley, Elliott, David Johnson, Kamara, it's all the same. I originally had David Johnson, down there tied for 5. I'd probably put him in the top 4. But then, after your top 4, Kareem Hunt and Kamara, those could be the first 6 picks. Saquon Barkley. But sometimes people like to jump in and take Antonio Brown, which I totally get. Melvin Gordon, don't sleep on him. There's a lot of good running backs, but I think your first 2 to 3 rounds, your first 2 or 3 picks should be running backs because it gets thinner when you start to get to guys that split carries. Okay, when you start to see down here, Joe Mixon, he's still probably an RB1, but you got to realize Giovanni Bernard is still going to get some touches. Ronald Jones on Tampa Bay, different guys. You don't know what the Packers are going to do. Jamal Williams, Aaron Jones, Ty Montgomery, Detroit, LeGarrette Blount. There's so many backfields, even Derrick Henry and Deion Lewis, that are split. So you got to figure out what's the best strategy for you. Bilal Powell, even Cleveland, Carlos Hyde, but you got Nick Chubb and Duke Johnson. Always want to get guys like Rex Burkhead and James White, even Sonny Michel from the Patriots, because you know that they're going to give them screen passes. They'll get 5, especially PPR league, they'll get 5, 6 receptions. Backup running backs, Latavius Murray might be good. Tevin Coleman's good. You want to have a good backup. Don't sleep on Mark Ingram just because he's suspended. Him, and even for wide receivers, Julian Edelman. The Eagles running backs, the Seahawks, Chris Carson and Rashard Penny, these are backup running backs. Tariq Cohen. Jordan Howard for the Bears is going to get most of the carries. So it's just a little bit of the rankings. Receivers, listen, it's AB all day. I think he's the best. Julio, Hopkins, Odell, congrats, brother. He about to get that 5-year, like $16 million a year, something crazy. That's serious kizash. You're talking, who knows, 80 million, 5 years. We'll see. They'll probably give him a $30 to $40 million bonus, something crazy. But receivers, you want to have good receivers. You got to look at some of these teams. Oh, Marquise Lee is out for the Jaguars, so that means Keenan Cole moves up. D.D. Westbrook, different guys. Don't forget Allen Hurns is with the Cowboys, Allen Robinson's with the Bears. But some of these wide receivers, you got to understand, you need to have a quarterback that's going to be throwing the ball a lot. And teams that are coming from behind, maybe the Fitzgeralds, the Christian Kirks, Browns receivers, Gordon and Landry, might have a little bit more value if the team is not as good and they pass a lot. Even the Niners, Garcon and Marquise Goodwin. So, just, giving you a little bit of the flavor with the rankings and all that stuff. We don't want to beat you over the head, but we do want you to know your tight ends. Don't get them too early. If your top 8 picks and you're determined to get Gronk and Kelsey, Walker, Rudolph, Ingram, he had a concussion, but Ingram should be okay. Zach Ertz. I think this year Jordan Reed could be healthy and play. Jimmy Graham should get you touchdowns. Rudolph. Got a good top 12 tight ends. Let's see how Luck does with Ebron. Drew Brees has still got Watson and characters. Jesse James and Vince McDonald still has got a couple of tight ends. But there's definitely talent out there. Maybe O.J. Howard steps up with Fitzpatrick and Winston this year. You just don't really know, Your last 2 picks, when you look at the mathematics of things, should be kicker and defense. I think the top defense, to me, clearly is a battle between the Jaguars and the Vikings. You know what I mean? Yeah, the Rams and Ravens should be good. Texans are going to be good. These are all good. Eagles. Chargers is sneaky good. I'm not sure about the Chiefs and Broncos so much this year. I think Saints and Bills should be good. These are all draftable. Falcons have talent. Same with Titans. Cardinals have a good defense. But for me, the Giants, Olivier Vernon just got banged up. I don't know. To me, that Jets defense is going to be good, but they might not, Anyway, points for defense and special teams, you don't get so much. So literally, your last 2 rounds should be defense and kicker. And if you draft 2 defenses, maybe you want to take one a little bit earlier in case you want Jaguars, Vikings, Rams, Texans, one of the top defenses. These are your kickers. It's the same old guys. Gurkowski, Tucker, Zerline, Elliott, Boswell. These guys are all pretty solid. Prater. You want a kicker, Vinatieri. It's going to get not just 1 point, but the 3-point field goal opportunity. So you want an offense that can definitely drive, and get down the field. A couple of new kickers in the league this year. Some of the rookies don't know that much about them, but it should be interesting. Will Lutz with the Saints, he's going to score. So, fantasy football rankings, get ready. It's going to be a good season. You know, you got to have depth. I always say at least 5 running backs. Guys get injured. You know, Taylor Gabriel's a sneaky good. You know, sleepers. Gabriel's a good sleeper. Calvin Ridley's a good sleeper. You know, I think Cameron Meredith with Drew Brees is a good sleeper. Don't sleep on Robbie Anderson for the Jets and Jermaine Kearse. They might do good with Sam Darnold. Rashard Matthews is pretty good. The rookie Christian Kirk. Don't forget about Randall Cobb and Martavius Bryant, yes, formerly of Pittsburgh, now with the Raiders. Doug Martin could do okay, you know, with the Raiders, him in beast mode. So you just got to be open to it, you know. Anyway, E-Rhyme Sports in the building. Hip Hop and Sports, I'm back in the business. NFL season is here, giving you my NFL and college football predictions. Next week, college football really starts off on, you know, Saturday. So I'm going to give you the picks this week and then the NFL. And then, of course, Monday Night Football, September 10th. My birthday, E-Rob Sports in the building, yo! Wow. I'm out. And I'll give you that Super Bowl pick. Will my Steelers make it? I don't know. Peace. Yeah.